Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is you're watching this. Eric here with driverlineup.com, world's okayest steering wheel holder, checking in from somewhere west of San Antonio. Not too far. Not too far west of San Antonio. I just took a shower at Love's here. And I'm ready for bed. You can see my eyes I got sleepy eyes. Ready for bed, man. I put in 500 miles last night, which is not an extreme drive in terms of length, but man, that sun is blasting me right in the face. I should have parked facing west. But it's like Beaumont, Texas, Houston, Texas. It was at Lake Charles. And you guys who drive that often know that construction that they've been doing since I've been driving a truck is not only not seeming to make any progress, the roads just keep getting worse. So those roads just kick your ass, man, and it's just concrete barriers on both sides, and it's not just for like 15 or 20 miles. It's like for, you know, you're pretty much going to deal with that shit for 4 or 5 hours, man. And it's between Houston and San Antonio too. So, you know, 500 miles, not an extreme long drive, but man, it was just a brutal beating of a drive, man. So I'm about to go to bed. But I did want to, real quick, first of all, I got a video coming in the next couple days, but I just wanted to do a shout out for two, well, I'll hold off on channels. I do want to do a shout out to all of you who supported the OTRcrew.com tip and in-house prime in-house employee campaign for February. It's not even February yet, guys. We wanted to raise $250 to tip an employee at Prime for February, and we raised $500 in 1 week. So I got her name is Tammy Reed, the one we picked first for February. She's a Depart associate at Prime. So I got to work with her in the next couple days to make sure that she can go ahead and take the transfer of that $500. That's freaking awesome, you guys. We are able to tip Tammy $500. Amazing. So I'm gonna do a video with her when we get back to Springfield here in a few weeks. But in a video that I do for you guys that kind of just focused on that here in the next couple of days, I want to name drop everybody who donated, just, I know it's not about, you know, patting ourselves on the back or getting I mean, we definitely want to pat ourselves on the back as a collective, because it was pretty amazing. So anyway, watch for that video in the next couple of days. Dang it, that reefer is about to start. Get my windows up. It's nice and cool, so I had windows down, but then the reefer kicked on, and I knew that reefer causes problems. But you can probably hear it vibrating even with the windows up. It's probably changed the whole audio of this video. But I wanted to say, when you get into trucking, especially reefer trucking, or really any kind of trucking, expect to deal with some interesting, there's just such a huge variety of problems you have to deal with, you know. Sometimes you'll go a week with really nothing, like it just a normal week of hauling, running loads, right? And then sometimes you're gonna have just oddball problems and challenges that you gotta work your way through and deal with. One that we're dealing with right now is that we have a load that's so heavy we can't fill our tanks more than halfway. Which I think if I was a solo driver probably wouldn't be that big of a deal, because you can only do so many miles. But as a team truck, it's a pain in the ass, because we're having to fuel twice a day. And this load with the tanks half full weighs 79,700 pounds. So it's it's fat. I mean, this trailer is fat. This load is absolutely ridiculously heavy. Fortunately, it's a juice load, so it's not like tall in the trailer. You know, it's sitting down at the bottom. This would be great for bad weather. But it was Tropicana, and I always anticipate Tropicana is going to be heavy. Now, the last couple times we've hauled Tropicana, it was only like 40,000 pounds. This time it's 45,000 pounds. So because I always anticipate it being heavy, and because there's not a scale right around there at Tropicana, down south of Tampa, is it Bradenton? I didn't go there with a lot of fuel, because you got to drive either in the opposite direction that you need to go to get on a scale, or at least like 30 miles, 40 miles north to get to a scale. And, you know, it's just not worth it to me to be full of fuel, be overweight, and then have to go all the way back. It's just a huge pain in the ass. So I went there with only a quarter tank of fuel, which was a good thing, because by the time I did get to a scale after leaving there, and the trailer that we picked up, this is an older trailer, 160 series, it has a brand new right way on it that hadn't been calibrated. So like this right way gauge weight just got installed on it. It's got the not calibrated sticker, and it was way off. It was showing like 15,000 pounds overweight on the trailer. So it was basically useless. So I go get on a scale, and I think the trailer weight was 33,900, and the tractor was like 33,100 or 33,200 or something like that, you know. And I had to get fuel, so I'm basically like doing this math in my head of you know, 7 pounds per gallon of diesel, trying to figure out how much fuel I can get. So I bought like 70 gallons of fuel, maybe 60 gallons of fuel, went and got on a scale, and I'm at 79,700 pounds. So, you know, could I put a little more fuel in it? Probably. I'm just no. Dog's crying. She wants to go party. I'm just paranoid about it, you know. I mean, it's just not worth. It's not worth accidentally putting too much fuel in and getting on a scale and then getting a huge overweight ticket, you know. So it's a pain in the butt, because when you're a team truck and you only put 60 or 70 gallons in the tank, you know, you're easily going to burn that for each person's shift. Usually we only have to fuel like once a day, maybe if we're running like really hard, once a day. Usually we only fuel like every other day, because we don't run 1,200 miles a day. Usually we usually run, you know, 800 or 900 miles a day. Now we're running 1,000 miles a day for this load to get to Arizona. And you know, it's just a pain in the ass. So those are you just deal with those kinds of challenges, you know, where you it varies wildly, the types of challenges you're going to run into. Making weight and having to work your fuel, and I don't know if Prime's fuel recommendation algorithm knows the weight of the load that you're picking up, or the anticipated weight, but it seems like it did on this one, because it didn't even make any recommendations at all for a 2,200 mile run. It had no recommendations. No, there's none in the Qualcomm. There's no fuel stops. There's no fuel recommendation. It's basically just like, good luck, buddy. You know. So I basically just had to, you know, play this one by myself. Like, I'm just, you know, where's the cheapest fuel? And I can only get 60 or 70 gallons per stop. So it's just, yeah. And basically what we're doing is we're burning that 60 to 70 gallons down to where it was before we put that in there, and then stopping to get fuel, because I don't know how many gallons are down below that point, because it already had a quarter of a tank, or just under a quarter of a tank. So anyway, what I will say, now I'm wearing a fleece right now, but I'm about to get that off because it's warming up. I feel terrible for all of you up north, but we've been in like 75-degree weather for the last 80 hours. And I put a fleece on this morning, and I felt bad for my brethren and trucker sisters up north, because the reason I put a fleece on is that it felt chilly when I got fuel at 3 o'clock this morning, and that was 54 degrees, you know. Whereas like a week ago, 54 degrees would have been like, you know, tank top weather. But it's been in the 70s. We left Florida, we're going to Arizona, and so, you know, just working all the way across, it's been upper 60s and lower 70s, and of course Phoenix is not going to be cold either, so weather's been great. So yeah, and weather is the whole reason I took this load. You guys know we don't generally go west, but with that storm working its way across the Midwest, when we were in Florida, I was like, you know what, when I pulled up load choice and there were 6 options, I talked about them in the last video, I was like, you know what, we're just gonna take this load to Phoenix and figure it out from there, because I was in no mood to go deal with all that weather up north, and basically every other load that was on load choice was gonna send us through some shit that I just didn't want to deal with. So we took it out, took juice out, but it was $1.25, so it's a mile, so it's not super terrible. I mean, there's much worse. So, you know, I'm happy with the situation. It wasn't a ton of time, so, you know, 2.5 days, $2,600 load puts us right about where we want to be in revenue. We like to keep our truck around $800,000-$900,000 a day in revenue. So even being a juice load keeps us right where we want to be. So that's our situation. That's where we're at. Well, I'm gonna go climb into bed, you guys. Get some sleep today. Got one more drive on this load tonight after Jenna drives her 500 miles today, and I'll be back with an update at some point tonight. So, all right, thank you guys. Be good. Be safe. Be good. Be safe. Make good decisions. Always drive, thrive. Talk to you guys soon.